Hello again. I wanted to use this video to respond to some of the ideas that came to me after watching the videos that I've done, especially those interviews with other people, and most especially after receiving a very important correspondence from an active vlogger who had actually watched the first several videos that I'd posted and commented back on his act of vlogging. For organizational purposes, I have broken these down into 3 sections. To begin with, I recently received a message from political vlogger Jonathan Barth commenting on his own beliefs about the genre of vlogs and his performance in the vlogging community. John is a doctoral student at George Mason who's interested in politics and history. And inspired by the chat discussion in my 4th video, John made some incredible mentions about the use of the vlogging genre. One of the most incredible things he said in his correspondence was that this genre has an amazing potential as a historical artifact, that historians in the future will be able to look back on a vlog of the 21st century and early 21st century and better understand what was going on in our history, in our culture, with our people, all of that, just the way that historians are currently looking at diaries, journals, things like that, but with the extra qualities, the visual characteristics, with all that go into a vlog, it allows for all of this extra detail that historians aren't currently getting through diaries, letters, and other historical artifacts. When I first read this part of his letter, I was like, yes, this is exactly it. This is exactly what I was talking about with chat. If chat is a theory that is used to understand a genre better by thinking about the culture that goes into creating that genre, then it would make complete and perfect sense to reverse the flow of information and use the genre to determine what the culture of an unknown society or history was like. It should work perfectly like that, since the one is informing the other. Just break it down. Next, I wanted to comment on some of the discussion of the visual culture and the younger audiences that came about in the interviews in vlog number 3. Several people mentioned the connection of a younger audience to this genre, especially due to the visual nature of the younger generations and concurrently the growth of a visual culture in America. Now, if we assume that the younger generations, say Generation X and the millennials, are a visual culture because of the technological advances that they've grown up in or that have come up around them, then it would be safe to say that they would be attracted to a genre of a visual nature, not just because they like something that's new and hip, but because it's something that they're used to. It's what has defined their life probably around every corner, from commercials to billboards to TV daily, probably in multiple rooms, and now through the computer and internet and the bombardment of visual images through that form. I would kind of like to throw a contradiction in, especially in my interview. Adam kind of mentioned that the older generation probably wouldn't want to sit around and watch somebody talking, but today's older generation are the baby boomers, and I would like to say that I believe the baby boomers have had enough of a visual ingrainment in their lives through the coming about of television that they appreciate visual culture and are probably tied to it at least partially, if not equally, as that of Generation X and the millennials. So they're getting that same enforcement of a visual culture throughout their entire lives from television. I think they can associate with this genre because of the visual nature of their generation, of their lives. So in an analysis manner, this genre came about because of the visual culture of our current society and also the technological advances that occurred concurrently with the appearance of these newer tech-savvy generations. But to comment on something that Evan said in his interview, maybe it's the visual components of certain genres like vlog that is actually building and shaping the visual culture that we have here. I would say it kind of works more so in a cyclical reinforcement, where one is continuing to push forward and create the other in a cycle. I have here for you my visual. Hopefully you can see it. If you can, I'll kind of act it out for you. we watch vlogs, which is helping to enforce our growth of a visual culture. But because we are growing as a visual culture, we are turning more specifically to other visual genres, things like vlogs. So we actually, as a visual culture, not only create this demand for visual genres, but we also continue to use them, reinforce them, so more visual genres like vlogs come about. Then the prevalence of those visual genres like vlogs leads to a stronger reinforcement of the growth of a visual culture. And it continues to work in a cycle like this, one reinforcing the other in the visual nature of our society. Maybe this is why I think vlogs are destined to become more powerful as we start working ourselves more and more into these visual and technological realms. We're really reinforcing the idea of such a visual genre. The growth of this and other similar genres, I think, is apparent in the growing popularity of such vlogging platform sites as YouTube, and also in the emergence of such hybrid genres as that of child-lit novel Skeleton Creek by author Patrick Carman. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Skeleton Creek, first, it's a scary story, and so if you don't like them, stay away from them. But second, the entire idea of this multimedia book is that you have your regular text pages, but inside the book you have to pause because there'll be links that you're supposed to go to websites and watch this vlog video style journal from one of the characters. You watch a video, you come back to the text. You read the text, you go back to the video. So we're seeing these this hybridization of traditional and more technological genres coming together. And maybe this is what Evan was kind of hinting at, that we are, continuing to reinforce our visual culture by even sticking videos into books. For traditionalists, this does raise a concern of how blurring these generic lines could possibly endanger the act of traditional reading words on printed pages. However, innovative authors like Patrick Carman believe that the future of books and reading will be in this transmedia form, crossing the lines of genres and incorporating technology into all these different aspects, just like his trailblazing novel Skeleton Creek. I think only time will tell whether this is good or bad for the reader and how this will affect the existence of such traditional texts. Either way, I think it's good for vloggers. Now I want to start moving back to the correspondence that I had with John, the vlogger. And he really believes that there's something more to the popularity of this genre than just the ease of usability that visual culture attaches to in this form. He hit on a lot of great ideas in his correspondence, but I want to break them down into two separate ideas that are the main components that John is saying of why audiences and authors are attracted to the genre of vlogs. The first quality that John mentions is the personal nature of the vlogging genre. And in his discussion, it leads me to believe that his antecedent genre, or one of his antecedent genres for vlogging, is just personal one-on-one, face-to-face conversation. He described the quality of the vlogging genre as being very intimate, and I want to quote him as saying that it comes closer than any other medium in mimicking real-life conversation. What he said next leads me to believe that the antecedent genres that we determine for our target genre, or that we perceive as being connected to a specific genre, are actually informing our expectations of that genre and consequently shape how we ourselves would author that specific form. Because John sees personal conversations as an antecedent genre for vlogging, he looks for qualities of personality and naturalness in both the vlogs that he watches and in the vlogs that he authors. He comments on getting an importance for the feel of the vlogger through the visuals, but namely through the form of speech, the speech patterns, the discussion that the vlogger is giving, the way that that vlogger talks to the camera, the mannerisms, the idioms, vlogs, everything that goes into the construction of speech says a little bit about the personality and shows that that vlogger is a natural speaker, just like you would come across in a regular conversation with another person. For the purpose of construction of his vlogs, in order to represent this personality and naturalist, John will often make notes as the guidelines for his vlog so that he doesn't forget key components, things that he wants to discuss. But he tries to keep it to just those notes that he can look back at to re-jog his memory. And the rest of it he tries to do kind of in an off-the-cuff, spontaneous style so that people can really see that it's just like a regular conversation with him. This connects to the natural quality of vlogs that John says he's looking for, and it even goes further to explain his expectations for grammar in the genre of vlogs, especially when he says, "None of us speaks perfectly, so our vlogs should not have perfect speech either." What this leads to is an understanding of how the antecedent genre, specifically for vlogs of personal conversations, constructs the grammar expectations and allowances. Because the antecedent genre is a personal conversation, the kind of things that would never be allowed in a more formal genre, the kind of genres you would probably turn in to a teacher or to your boss or to a committee, those genres have to have very strict, very structured grammar. However, since we don't speak perfectly in our conversations, the grammar expectations for the vlogging genre makes certain allowances, as John describes, in misspoken words, imperfectly constructed sentences, verbal stumbles, moments of silence where the vlogger is trying to collect his or her thoughts, kind of like that stumble that I just made. This definitely makes me feel better and more comfortable as a vlogger, and I think it reinforces my feeling that I can just talk to the camera and I'm allowed to make mistakes, whereas I'm not used to being allowed to make these mistakes in other genres. So I would take multiple versions of my earlier videos trying to make one perfect, solid speech before realizing at this point that I'm not really capable of that, especially at this point. The second major component that John mentions in his correspondence in connection with vlogs is the democratization of information that vlogs performs. Because of the free open websites of vlog publications such as YouTube that we have, really anyone can become a vlogger and can publish their own vlog. In addition to that, because of the freedoms of speech that we experience as a right in this country, your vlog can be about pretty much anything that you want it to be about. So as John describes, these aspects of this genre empower the everyday person to share their ideas and offer this fostering of individualism and democracy that are principal characteristics of the American society. So, seems like we keep coming back to chat in this cultural historical connection. In another amazing section of the correspondence I received from John, he further connects to the cultural and historical aspects of communication with vlog by comparing his political vlog to that of 19th century American soapbox speeches, where a person would take a soapbox to a town square, set up that soapbox, stand on that soapbox, and would have the freedom to speak whatever was on his mind without fear of any repercussions. I can't even explain to you how amazingly excited I was when I read this. The profundity of John's comparison perfectly displays the implicit antecedent genre for his vlog as being rooted in American society, history, government, culture, and it connects to a comment I made in one of my earlier videos about how I believed at the time that topic did a lot for guiding our expectations or our choices of what we believed an antecedent genre was. Because the rhetorical situation that John is facing is one connected to political expression and free personal opinion, in his mind, he thought back to another moment in history, prior genre, where a person used a different type of genre to express those same things, that same topic of political expression and open opinion. And when he found that in his mind, whether this was subconscious or very consciously chosen, he used his understanding of that prior genre to kind of guide what he thought of as a vlog, what he was allowed to do, and what his vlog itself was going to look like. So there you have it. It seems that the visual and technological culture of our society is informing the genre of vlogs, as does the democratic history of the American government and the human desire for intimate communication and connection. These cultural and historical connections lead us to specific antecedent genres that then help us construct our expectations of the genre convention and even guide us to the way that we plan on authoring our examples of the genre. For me, my example of the vlog today. Well, that does it for this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a very special thank you to Jonathan Barth for his correspondence that not only inspired me to make this video, but also completely informed me and brought me to another level of understanding of the cultural and historical connections to a genre and the special importance of antecedent genres in understanding how to construct a genre when you're facing that genre for the first time, as I am with vlogs. Thank you, keep watching, and have a good one.